In the year 1801, in a quiet laboratory illuminated only by the flicker of candlelight, a moment of profound discovery was about to unfold. The air was thick with anticipation, and the tools scattered across the wooden workbench seemed unassuming, yet they were part of an experiment that would ripple through the annals of history. It all began with a simple question: what is the true nature of light? For centuries, great minds had debated whether light behaved like tiny particles, as proposed by Sir Isaac Newton, or as waves, as other thinkers suggested. To resolve this mystery, a young polymath named Thomas Young embarked on a journey that would forever change the way we perceive reality itself. What began as a straightforward attempt to understand light quickly spiraled into something far more profound. With each flicker of the candle, as the experiment progressed, Young was unknowingly peeling back the layers of existence. What he discovered was not just about light. It was about the fundamental structure of reality, the role of observation, and astonishingly, the very essence of creation. The implications of this experiment would reach far beyond the laboratory. It would challenge the dominant scientific paradigms of the time, laying the foundation for what we now know as quantum mechanics. But more than that, it would stir questions that science alone could not answer, questions about consciousness, the interconnectedness of all things, and a hidden force that seemed to govern the universe itself. Even today, as we live in a world shaped by technologies and theories that arose from this very experiment, the deeper truths it revealed remain a source of wonder and mystery. It showed us that the universe is not as static or mechanical as we once believed, but instead a dynamic interplay of possibilities, where observation plays a crucial role in shaping reality. This single experiment became a bridge between the tangible and the intangible, the physical and the metaphysical. And at its core, it hinted at something extraordinary, a connection between the scientific and the divine, a glimpse into the very fabric of existence, and perhaps even the nature of God himself. This is the story of one of the most extraordinary experiments in human history. An experiment that began as a quest to understand the nature of light, but ended up unlocking truths far greater than anyone could have imagined. It's called the double-slit experiment, and it didn't just lay the foundation for quantum mechanics, the science that underpins much of our modern technology. It also revealed something deeply profound about the very nature of existence. The year was 1801, and Thomas Young, a polymath and one of the brightest minds of his era, stood at the crossroads of scientific discovery. Young wasn't just a physicist. He was a physician, a linguist, and even a pioneer in deciphering ancient texts like the Rosetta Stone. His curiosity knew no bounds, and his work touched on nearly every major field of knowledge. Yet, it was in his study of light that he would make his most lasting contribution, a contribution so groundbreaking that its implications still challenge us today. Thomas Young's experiment was deceptively simple: a light source, a barrier with two slits, and a screen to observe the results. But what he discovered went far beyond the boundaries of classical physics. His findings opened a door into a new realm of understanding, a realm where the rules of reality as we knew them began to break down. What Young observed challenged the prevailing belief of the time that light consisted of tiny particles, as proposed by Isaac Newton. Instead, his experiment revealed that light behaved like waves, creating patterns of interference as they passed through the slits. This revelation not only settled the debate about the nature of light, but also hinted at something far more complex and mysterious, a deeper layer of reality that operates beyond what our senses can perceive. But the story doesn't end there. Over a century later, scientists revisited Young's experiment with more advanced equipment and a new perspective. What they found turned the scientific world upside down. When particles like electrons were fired one at a time through the slits, they still created the same wave-like interference pattern. This suggested that each particle was somehow passing through both slits simultaneously, as if it were a wave. However, the real shock came when scientists placed detectors near the slits to observe the particles' paths. At that moment, the interference pattern vanished. The particles behaved as if they had only passed through one slit, as though the act of observing them changed their behavior. This phenomenon, the observer effect, revealed a stunning truth. At the quantum level, reality itself isn't fixed. Instead, it exists as a field of infinite possibilities until someone observes it. This raises profound questions about the role of consciousness in shaping the universe. Could it be that science, in its relentless pursuit of understanding, accidentally stumbled upon the nature of God? A force that is omnipresent, all-knowing, and intricately tied to the act of observation. The answers may lie in the mysterious implications of the double-slit experiment, a doorway to understanding not only the fabric of reality, but perhaps the divine itself. Thomas Young, a remarkable polymath and one of the brightest minds of his time, set out to resolve a debate that had perplexed scientists for centuries. Was light made of particles, as Isaac Newton had proposed, or was it a wave, as suggested by other thinkers? To answer this question, Young conducted an experiment that would change the course of science forever. Using a straightforward setup involving a light source, a barrier with two narrow slits, and a screen, Young revealed something revolutionary. When light passed through the two slits, it didn't behave like tiny particles, shooting straight through and creating two distinct bands of light on the screen. Instead, it created an interference pattern, a series of alternating light and dark bands, much like the ripples formed when two stones are dropped into a pond. This finding was groundbreaking. It demonstrated that light behaved as waves, confirming the wave theory and challenging the dominant particle-based model of the time. But this was only the beginning of the story. More than a century later, with the advent of quantum physics, scientists revisited Young's experiment with far more sophisticated tools and a new set of questions. This time, instead of light, they used individual particles, electrons and photons, firing them one at a time at the slits. What they discovered was nothing short of astonishing. Even when fired individually, the particles still formed an interference pattern, as if each particle passed through both slits simultaneously, behaving not like a solid object, but like a wave. This baffling result defied conventional logic and hinted at a deeper, more mysterious layer of reality. The real twist came when scientists attempted to observe the particles as they passed through the slits. They placed detectors to determine which slit each particle went through. The moment they observed the particles, everything changed. The interference pattern disappeared, and the particles began behaving like solid objects, passing through one slit or the other. This phenomenon revealed a startling truth. The very act of observation altered the behavior of the particles. The experiment demonstrated that reality at the quantum level is not fixed or deterministic. Instead, it exists as a field of possibilities, a wave of potential outcomes, until it is observed. This concept, known as wave function collapse, is a cornerstone of quantum physics and challenges everything we thought we knew about the nature of the universe. But then came the twist that would revolutionize our understanding of reality. Scientists, curious to uncover more, placed detectors near the slits to observe which path the particles were taking. What happened next was nothing short of astonishing. The interference pattern, the telltale sign of wave-like behavior, vanished. The particles, which had previously acted as though they passed through both slits simultaneously, now behaved like solid objects, passing through one slit or the other. This dramatic shift revealed something mind-bending. The act of observation itself had altered the outcome of the experiment. This wasn't just a quirk of physics, it was a groundbreaking revelation about the nature of reality. The mere presence of a conscious observer had the power to influence the behavior of particles at the quantum level. Reality, it seemed, wasn't fixed or predetermined. Instead, it existed as a wave of infinite possibilities, a field of potential outcomes waiting to be shaped. Scientists called this phenomenon wave function collapse. At the quantum level, particles don't exist in one state until they are observed. Before that moment, they exist in a state of superposition where all possibilities coexist simultaneously. It is the act of observation that causes the wave of possibilities to collapse into a single definitive state. This revelation raises profound questions. What role does consciousness play in shaping the universe? Could it be that our act of observing is not just passive, but an active force that creates reality itself? The observer effect challenges the classical idea of a detached, objective universe and points to something far more interconnected, a reality where the observer and the observed are fundamentally entwined. The implications of the double-slit experiment reach far beyond the boundaries of physics. It challenges us to rethink the very fabric of reality and the role of consciousness in shaping it. If our observation determines how particles behave, whether as waves of infinite possibilities or as fixed, solid objects, then what does this mean for the universe itself? Could it be that our minds are not separate from the physical world, but are in fact fundamental to its very existence? This discovery brings us to a profound question. What is the role of consciousness in the grand design of the cosmos? For centuries, spiritual traditions and ancient philosophies have hinted at this connection. Hermetic philosophers, for example, spoke of the principle, as above, so below, suggesting that the universe mirrors our inner state. This ancient wisdom aligns remarkably with the revelations of the double-slit experiment. At its core, the experiment demonstrates that the observer and the observed are not separate, but intrinsically linked. Consider the vastness of the universe, from the smallest quantum particle to the largest galaxy. If consciousness plays an active role in shaping reality at the quantum level, then it may also play a role in shaping the cosmos as a whole. This raises a deeply spiritual question. Is consciousness the force that brings the universe into being? Could it be the elusive thread that connects the material world with the divine? The idea isn't new. Ancient scriptures and spiritual traditions have long taught that the mind holds the key to creation. In Hindu philosophy, the concept of Brahman describes an infinite, formless reality that underpins all existence, a reality shaped by thought and awareness. Similarly, in Buddhism, the nature of reality is described as a projection of the mind, a mirror of one's inner world. Even in Christianity, the Bible's opening verses describe the act of creation as the Word, an expression of consciousness bringing matter into existence. What makes the double-slit experiment so groundbreaking is that it provides a scientific foundation for these spiritual insights. It suggests that reality itself is not fixed or objective. Instead, it is a dynamic interplay between the observer and the observed, shaped by attention, intention, and awareness. But the implications don't stop there. If the act of observation creates reality, then every thought, belief, and intention we hold may play a role in shaping the world around us. This has profound consequences for how we approach life. Imagine if we understood that our focus and energy determine not just our personal experiences, but also the collective reality we all share. This insight also reframes how we think about God. Throughout history, God has been described as omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. These qualities align strikingly with the characteristics of the quantum field, a field of infinite possibilities present in everything, capable of shaping all matter and energy. Could it be that what science calls the quantum field and what spirituality calls God are one and the same? This perspective bridges the gap between science and spirituality. It suggests that God is not a distant external being, but the very fabric of existence itself. The quantum field from which all matter emerges may be the creative force that ancient traditions have always pointed to. It is omnipresent because it exists in everything. It is omnipotent because it is the source of all energy and potential. And it is omniscient because it forms the basis of all that is and all that will be. The double-slit experiment not only invites us to explore these questions, but also challenges us to take responsibility for the reality we create. When we focus our attention on fear, negativity, or conflict, we strengthen those realities. But when we direct our consciousness toward possibilities, growth, and unity, we begin to shape a world that reflects those qualities. This understanding transforms the way we see ourselves and our place in the universe. We are not passive observers, but active participants in the unfolding of reality. We are creators, capable of shaping our lives and the world around us through the power of our attention and intention. In this light, the double-slit experiment is not just a scientific discovery. It is a profound revelation, a reminder that the boundaries between science, philosophy, and spirituality are not as rigid as they seem. It invites us to step into our role as co-creators of existence, recognizing the divine spark within ourselves and the universe. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the quantum world, one thing becomes clear. Consciousness is not an isolated phenomenon. It is deeply interconnected with the fabric of reality. And perhaps, in understanding this connection, we are beginning to glimpse the true nature of God. Modern science has taken us further than ever before in our understanding of the universe. Beneath the vast expanse of stars and galaxies lies something even more fundamental, a hidden realm that forms the foundation of everything we see, touch, and experience. At the heart of existence lies the quantum vacuum, a field of infinite, boundless energy from which all matter emerges. This quantum vacuum is not empty space. Far from it. It is a seething ocean of potential, the birthplace of all particles and forces that make up our universe. Everything we know, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, originates from this field of primordial energy. It exists everywhere, within everything, at every moment, a constant presence, unseen, yet fundamental. Sound familiar? For centuries, ancient teachings and spiritual traditions have described the divine in strikingly similar terms. God has been portrayed as omnipresent, existing in all places simultaneously, as omnipotent, the source of all creation and power, and as omniscient, the all-knowing essence that pervades everything. The quantum vacuum, the foundation of all existence, mirrors these attributes in extraordinary ways. Could it be that what science calls the quantum vacuum and what spirituality calls God are, in fact, one and the same? This perspective does not reduce the divine to mere scientific phenomena. Instead, it elevates our understanding of the quantum field, revealing it as something far greater than a physical concept. It becomes a bridge between science and spirituality, a shared language for exploring the mysteries of existence. But this connection runs deeper. The quantum vacuum is not just a source of energy, it is also the source of individuality and life itself. Everything that exists is a unique expression of this infinite field. From the quantum vacuum emerges not just matter, but also the intricate patterns of organization that make life possible. Within every being lies what spiritual traditions call the divine spark, a fragment of the infinite, a fingerprint of the quantum vacuum itself. This spark is the essence of creation, the unique energy that defines each of us while connecting us to the whole. Understanding this spark transforms the way we see ourselves. We are not separate entities adrift in a vast universe. We are deeply interconnected, each a reflection of the same infinite source. This realization challenges the illusion of separation that has dominated human thought for centuries. When we recognize that the quantum vacuum exists within us, it becomes clear that we are not merely observers of the universe. We are participants in its creation. The same energy that forms galaxies also forms our thoughts, emotions, and actions. We are made of the same essence as the stars, the same divine energy that powers the cosmos. Ancient spiritual traditions have long pointed to this truth. They teach that enlightenment comes not from external pursuits, but from looking inward, to the divine spark that resides within. This is the journey of self-realization, the understanding that our essence and the universe's essence are one and the same. Modern science, through its exploration of the quantum vacuum, echoes these ancient insights. It reveals that beneath the complexities of existence lies a single, unified source. When we embrace this understanding, it dissolves the boundaries between the material and the spiritual, the physical and the divine. This perspective is not just theoretical, it has profound implications for how we live our lives. Recognizing the divine spark within us compels us to act with greater empathy, compassion, and purpose. It reminds us that our thoughts and actions ripple outward, shaping the world around us. The quantum vacuum is not just the foundation of matter, it is the foundation of meaning. It invites us to see the universe not as a cold, mechanical system, but as a living, interconnected whole. And within that whole, we each play a vital role. So what does this mean for our understanding of God? It suggests that God is not distant, external, or separate. Instead, God is the very fabric of existence, the energy that animates all life, the essence that flows through everything and everyone. The quantum vacuum and the divine spark are not opposites, but two sides of the same coin, reminding us of the profound unity that underlies all of creation. The implications of the double-slit experiment reach beyond the boundaries of quantum physics and into our everyday lives. It teaches us a profound lesson. Our attention shapes reality. What you focus on, whether it's your fears, your dreams, or your intentions, becomes the reality you experience. This isn't just a philosophical idea or a spiritual teaching. It's quantum physics in action. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of infinite possibilities. But the moment we observe them, we collapse those possibilities into a single reality. This principle extends beyond the quantum world into the way we shape our lives. If you focus on problems, they grow. Think of it like measuring and amplifying those difficulties, solidifying them into your reality. But if you shift your attention toward solutions, opportunities, and possibilities, you open the door to a completely different outcome. Your focus determines what takes shape, just as the observer determines how particles behave. Imagine a person meditating, visualizing their goals, and seeing their life transform. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's aligning with the quantum principles of creation. By directing your thoughts, energy, and intentions toward what you want to manifest, you influence the trajectory of your reality. The power of focus is transformative. A person consumed by financial worries, for example, may find their debts multiplying as their attention reinforces that reality. But if they choose to focus on creating new income opportunities or strategies to overcome their challenges, the solution begins to take form. This shift in perspective is not just empowering, it's a practical application of the observer effect. The double-slit experiment reveals that limitations are not permanent. Infinite possibilities exist in every moment, waiting to be shaped by your attention and intention. What you observe, measure, and focus on becomes your reality. This principle reminds us that we are not passive bystanders in the unfolding of life. We are active participants, co-creators of our own existence. So ask yourself, where are you placing your attention? Are you focusing on the barriers in your path, or are you looking for the doors waiting to be opened? The universe offers infinite outcomes, but it's up to you to choose which one becomes real.